Dun, 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 dun,
Events
dun, dun,
of the
dun, dun, dun,
Masters
dun,
of the
dun. Dun, dun,
Universe.
dun, 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 dun,
I have
dun. Hey everybody, welcome to
recently picked up my
DanCast.
origin.
I
Oh,
know you
sorry.
thought you went back in time to Filmation He-Man episode there. You got the beefy David T. Allen is joining me tonight, and you thought that was David Man or whatever his name would be in He-Man universe. But welcome to DanCast. Welcome to the Actionverse channel. Welcome to our flagship show, DanCast. I'm your host, Dan Thompson, joined by my friend David T. Allen. David, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. It's been a really good week. A lot of retro, like kind of nostalgic things have come to the forefront this week. Not only with some new GI Joes, with an awesome new He-Man movie, with just my whole enthusiasm in life. It's really been a good week this week.
Oh, same here, man. That's always great to hear. Um, my son says something to me. I'm not going to repeat it because it'll make me tear up. But he got me with a line. He says something really sweet to me right before the movie started, and it just melted my heart. And just some people are like, "You kind of spoil your son sometimes." Like that's why. But so I got to go see He-Man today. Wyatt and I went and saw it, and man, we both freaking loved it. I'm not going to do any spoilers, so folks can watch it. I might reference a few things. It would be non like they go to Eternia. Whoa,
Wow,
who would
a lot of
who would have thought? But
the basic plot of the movie has been revealed in the trailer, the
oh yeah,
multiple trailers. So it's not that difficult to talk about the movie and not spoil or anything here because the spoilers are very minute, like details that only fans of like big Motu fans would understand. But it's basically, he gets sent to Earth, he comes back from Earth, has to save Eternia, fight the forces of evil, Skeletor, and save the day.
all in a neat 30-minute episode.
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
So
you know,
so just a little backup. So last week I talked about He-Man, and I had a guest host with me, and he's alive. He's okay. He was just pulling a stunt. Uh, for those that know, you know. But anyway,
yeah, right.
uh, we talked. I kind of talked about the history of He-Man, and the '87 movie came out. That was a big deal, and it didn't do well. I mean, I liked it when I saw it.
It's
I still
become
love.
a cult classic now.
Oh yeah, and I still love it today. Like I appreciate it more today.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely not what everybody was expecting. But Dolph Lundgren did great in it, and a great cast. Courtney Cox's first movie. Oh, you guys thought we were talking about the new He-Man movie. We're talking about
He
no, I'm teasing. I'm
isn't
teasing.
Dolph Lundgren's in the new movie, isn't he?
Yes, he has an awesome cameo,
Yeah.
and it just made me pop as a fan. Like I just, but for those who don't know, popping is a wrestling term. So like when the audience goes nuts, that's a pop. Or they boo you, that's a pop. Whatever. Or when I sorry, when you come out to the ring, they have
Boo!
yeah. I about
Boo!
yeah. I about that's what I would be getting boos. But I had man, I popped a little bit and marked out because he was in it, and it's a really I don't want to spoil the scene. It was a really cool little cameo. But one of the things when my little boy said what he said to me, it reminded me when I saw the '87 movie with my little sister. That was kind of like a special movie for me and her, and that was really cool. And it just when my son said what he said, it just made me feel like I was a kid again watching it. Now it's my son, not my sister, and it was just this is a special movie now to me. And we
And see, me and my twin brother, we used to do movies together. We would watch movie marathons in the theater. We would like go see a movie, have lunch, go see another movie, get a snack at the concession stand, and see a third movie. We would see like 3 movies at a time on the weekends. He and I were big movie files, and now he's a film critic and stuff like that. And he
oh
tells
that's
me all
cool.
the movies to see and things like that. And I had a good relationship with my twin brother, and we loved going to the movies together. I think probably we're a little older than your sister because you're the same age as us, right?
Yeah, I'm 21.
21. Okay.
Um.
No, I meant in the 80s when you were going to the
Oh,
theater with your
okay, okay. I
sister.
wasn't 21 in the '80s. Now you were 21 in the '80s, but
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
David's coming to you live from the AARP studio.
I
No.
was. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Oh,
Let's see.
I have you been getting mail from them?
Yes, I have. I
I
was
get so
13.
mad. I'm like, I am not anywhere near that.
I
Like,
know, right?
and
Give
I'm
me
like, this has got to be a joke someone's pulling on me.
exactly.
It's probably
But
my
look,
wife doing it. Like,
we're the
put my
same
name down.
age. But look, Dan, we're the same age. So we were 13 when Masters of the Universe came out because it came out in '87, and so we were 13. So we're right at the right age for that type of a
Oh
film.
yeah, I think so too. Um, so because I saw the movie and liked it, I ended up picking this up today.
Yeah, I want one of those.
It looks like the Omnithopter from Dune.
Yeah.
There was some now I'm not saying they're copying the Dune movie because the Dune everything copies the book Dune, Star Wars, everything. But there was a couple of like Dune-esque references in it that I caught on. I was like, oh, that's cool. There's little nods to things. But I got that, and then and we're going to talk about GI Joe today as well. So to give you guys a table of contents, if you will, we're going to talk a little bit about the new He-Man movie, my reaction to it, David's reaction, and then we're also going to talk about Yojo June the best we can because I'm still dealing with some boomer tech and I don't have a slideshow. David's going to try, and David will handle the chat on his end.
Very
Uh,
good.
so we got these in to the shop this week. Zanya and the skier, and I ended up grabbing two of them because I wanted one for Zartan.
Yep, that's
And I
exactly what I
haven't
did.
seen these at big box or any shop or anything near where I live. So as far as I know, we're the first one in the area to have them. So and then we're getting our female Crimson Guards next week, which there was a whole thing with Hasbro hadn't sent new product out in 8 weeks to certain distributors or 9 weeks. I guess this is week 10, and we finally got something. It's been a pretty dry stream of product coming in. Now it's starting to ramp up because I just got another major shipping notification of a whole ton of the Transformers and some more GI Joe stuff that we'd ordered, and I think another Marvel Legend. I ended up getting the. I kind of don't do Marvel Legends anymore, and I ended up getting the new Archangel. Did you get one of those?
No, because I have like 3 Archangels already. I didn't need another one. And that was more of the animated version. And I haven't been getting the animated versions of characters unless it's a character that's never been done before, like Goblin Queen, since that HasLab, the Thunder Vengeance of Thunder, or whatever the hell it was called.
Oh
Funded, so
yeah.
we didn't get Goblin Queen. So I bought the animated Goblin Queen, and it came with a little baby Cable. And so I'll get the animated ones only if it's a character that has not been done. Like Sunspot, I got him,
I love
and a couple of
Sunspot.
those. Like villains.
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna grab it. Tell her write that joke. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So I Zanya as well, 3 of them, because I wanted one to go with my Zartan. My Zartan on a swamp skier had to happen, right? So here he is. I have Zartan on a swamp skier.
Oh, nice.
I opened him up. I put him on there, and I have 2 more. I'm going to do an open box video in a couple weeks when I get, like, I think it's 93, because I always follow mine on by the number on my reviews. But I had to get a 3rd one for this because there's no way I was just going to leave Zanya on the swamp skier. That's just not going to happen. So
Yeah, especially if they end up making a Thunder Machine because she can just kind of
yeah.
ride in that. But here's the Archangel. Here's the back of the package, and I'll show the figure.
So, yeah, so it's an animated one. I was like, I don't really need another one. And like I said, I only get Marvel Legends if it's something that I don't have a character of. Like I got the new Secret Wars wave, that entire wave, because it was all brand new versions of characters, and I like the Secret Wars packaging. Gives me nostalgia for the '80s and stuff.
Oh, I love that packaging. So yeah, I saw those at Target this week.
Oh.
We're getting those in the shop. I think we might be getting them next week or the week after. But and I can wait. I'm not one of those guys that has to run out and get it right away.
Well,
and also, this is non-Joe related, but I picked this up at our toy and antique mall, and I'm not sure who made this, but I got Danger Mouse.
Oh, I loved Danger Mouse back in the day. It was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
They
he's
had
going
a
to go on
lot of
the
those.
the 1970s, 1980s toy shelf.
Yeah, they had a
Here,
lot of those British cartoons on Nickelodeon. They had Danger Mouse,
I
Count
think it's on
Duckula,
Tubi
a
right now.
bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, it's on Tubi. They get a lot of that stuff too.
Tubi's got two of my favorite movies on there: The 13th Warrior, and which I'm gonna drive people nuts one day because I'm gonna do a watch along on 13th Warrior because we watch it every day in the shop. We have
Wow.
like the world. I think unofficially we have the world record for most viewings
Wow.
for like 16, 17 years from 5 to 7. Sometimes we repeat it
Uh,
if we're feeling really frisky. And then Tombstone is on Tubi. Of course, I own both those movies, but it's just kind of
Tombstone?
fun. Love Tombstone, man.
I love Tombstone, but I'm surprised it's on Tubi. That's a children's channel, isn't it?
No, no, no. Tubi has a kids category. They have all types of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not a kids thing. It's like a free Netflix, I guess.
Mm.
Now you can pay for things. I'm not really sure what's different, but there's certain things you can pay for,
Uh,
or do like a paid subscription.
gotcha.
But I don't think you really need to. But it's both of those are on there. They have a whole bunch of stuff. Of course, Bloodsport's on there too, so that
What?
usually gets watched. Yeah, I usually watch that like once a week.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot going on this week. We got a lot to cover. I can talk a little bit about the Hasbro Pulse stream if you want, and cover what I know. I have some photos on my phone. I don't know how well they're going to come out by showing them on here, but I could try.
Well, I think a lot of people have probably so in case we can't show that stuff, people have probably already seen it.
Yeah,
So, but we can talk about it obviously. So let's go to He-Man. Let's get that knocked out.
sure.
So the He-Man movie's opened. I guess it opened Wednesday night.
Yeah, there was a
Like
preview,
uh,
right?
yeah, like preview night or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the box office total is. I've heard, and I don't know how people know what the box office is going to be from one night. But some people are like, "Oh, I heard it's going to bomb. I heard it's going to be great." I saw it. The only complaint I had about the movie is it made fun of itself too much.
Yeah.
Like they were
Well,
trying. It's like almost like they were scared to do the movie, but so we got to kind of make fun of ourselves.
and
And
see, that's the thing, because you got to remember the source material. The Filmation animated series in the 80s is a bit campy, and
oh yeah,
they were having fun with themselves, and it's very similar to what they did with the Barbie movie. So Mattel has this thing now: when something's successful, they're going to try to emulate that and duplicate it, and that's why we got Masters of the Universe in the
well,
style that we're getting.
it wasn't offensive. Like, oh, this is driving me nuts. It just I think like if it had been a little bit more serious about itself, it probably would have. But then there was some kind of gag humor in there that I was really shocked they had it in there, and there was a lot more profanity than I thought would be in one, being a He-Man movie. But I mean, I'm not worried. I mean, my son's sitting there. I mean, he just kind of like smacks my hand when he hears somebody cuss. And I'm like, I didn't say it. Like, well, you're here, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, that was the only complaint I had. I mean, it was a pretty solid movie. Visually, it looked good. Um, I've seen where people have, of course, people on Twitter or whatever get on there and everything's bad, everything's terrible. Support my channel or keep giving me money, so I can,
Yeah, right.
because I have to go see it to tell you how bad it is.
No,
And I'm
yeah.
like, I don't like. I didn't go see Mandalorian. I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore. I did like the first two seasons of that show. I know it's not done well financially. It got knocked out by an indie movie, which that's kind of pretty telling. But to those that like the movie,
I
God
think
bless
you would
you.
actually. I think you would like it, and I think it's a good
I
movie.
probably
It's really
would.
fun too. It's
I
a
probably
good adventure movie. That's what it's supposed to
I
be.
loved season 1 and 2. I thought that was a really nice apology for what Disney has done so far.
Yeah.
But the season 3, I didn't. I checked out, and then I was gonna watch it, and then I accidentally saw the end of it, and the end of it made no sense. But I don't want to get into all that. But I
No,
mean,
no.
like, but what my point is, like, people saw Mandalorian and they liked it. Well, most people have this answer, which I don't really understand. This they say, well, it was like an extended TV episode, but it was good. It's like they have to add that in
It
there.
is good. It's like they squeezed in 3 episodes into a movie because you can see the separation where there's a lull and where in between the action, and then there's a lull, and then there's another big action sequence, and then there's a lull. But there's a lot more than that in there. There's a whole sequence with Grogu that is like fantastic. That I think makes the entire movie what it is. This sequence with Grogu. Some people don't like Grogu. I do. I think it's a good character, and I think it really adds to the lore. But yeah, you can see it's like 3 different episodes squeezed together because it was going to be the 5th season or 4th season or whatever it was going to be, so they had to re-edit it, and the music is fantastic. I think there's a lot of lore in there, a lot of stuff, nostalgia in it. It's a great movie in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll probably end up seeing it at some point. It's just I'm not in a hurry to see it. And the people that like it, God bless you. That's art is subjective. I mean, I might be missing out. I'm not saying don't go see it, but the fact that it's financially not doing well
I
kind of
think I
tells
do
me,
believe that Masters is getting the same bum rap that Grogu and Mandalorian's getting.
yeah, and that was my point.
It's
I know
too
I went a weird way
nostalgic.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's too nostalgic, and they're not taking it the Conan the Barbarian route, which I don't think it needed to go that way.
oh
But
no,
uh,
no,
you know,
I
I
think it's
it's
I think like I think it was a little silly in some parts, um, for the sake of being silly. And
but
I'm like, yeah,
toy
there's enough humor in it.
it's a toy property nostalgia fest from the 80s. What are you gonna expect?
But when this character gets, oh, he's mounted with mounting tape. Never
So look,
mind.
I'll say when Fisto shows up
That's what I was
is
gonna
when
say.
it really gets down and dirty. When Fisto misses you, Fisto couldn't handle it. He-Man, he fisted him too much. That's when it gets a little deep,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Fisted him too much. Never mind. Is that too
Well,
much?
there's some lines that let's go fisting and all that, and it's just like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, please don't ask me what that is, son. Please don't ask me. Uh,
I didn't know what it meant when when I was a child and Fisto showed up,
you think
and
these
then as
guys,
an adult,
like,
I'm
what
looking at.
level of
Wait a
drugs
minute.
were these guys doing when they were
Yeah, well,
naming
exactly.
these guys? You know, David Fisto must have got a hold of David because he froze folks. Um, Mandalorian and Frosku over there. So hello, David. Can you hear me? You're frozen, buddy. Well, anyway, the movie, there's some parts of the movie that's a little silly for the sake of being silly. Uh, and then there's,
I'm,
oh, there
I'm,
you are. You're back.
yeah, I'm back. I blinked out for a
I
moment
didn't
there.
know if Fisto got a hold of you and you just
He
like,
fisted me too hard, He-Man, and I went out. Sorry.
well, that Netflix He-Man show, they have Fisto in there, and
Well,
he's like, I'm gonna fist Skeletor, and I'm like, whoa,
but that show went
whoa.
further the other direction. Whereas,
I think the sorceress had to sit him down and have a
yeah,
talk with him about
yeah.
things. Like
But
Fisto,
that's
we
the
want you
thing,
to meet our HR, and you got to kind of there's a bit in there that I thought was funny, and it was one of the complaints when people were when the trailer came out when it said he him on the name tag or the desk tag. It kind of pokes fun at the last, I don't know, 8 years of movies and the whole like politically correct, woke, whatever you want to call it. It
Yeah.
makes a little fun of that, and I think that was kind of funny. And it had some funny moments, and then it gets revisited later on, and it's kind of funny. Because Skeletor is like, "What the hell is this place?" He's, "What's that HR?" And he's like, like, "What level of hell is this?" or something, and it's pretty funny. That's
Everybody
funny,
said
but
that Jared Leto did a good job.
yeah, yeah, man, I have to say he did. Hopefully his streak of killing franchises is over. I hope.
Well,
But
I
yeah,
thought he did a good job in Tron. I know that's a hot take, but I think he did a fantastic job in Tron. That's
I
my.
still haven't seen that one. I
Oh, well, you should.
would like to see it, but yeah, the movie the movie starts out, gives you kind of a flashback scene. He's narrating it, and it's kind of cool how all that kind of ties together because it takes you present day on Earth
Mm.
as he's
How long
narrating.
was it? How long they? From what I understand, it was only they were only on Earth for like 5 minutes because he's a child, and then he is an adult, and then
Uh,
they
I think
go
it's
to
more like 20 minutes, 15
20.
to 20 minutes. Yeah,
Hmm.
because he's he obviously gets sent to Earth when he's young. You
Yeah,
see that in the trailers,
yeah, that's
and
in the
he's
trailer.
searching for the sword. You see that in the trailers,
Yeah,
so that's not a spoiler. So
right.
his whole life, he's looking for the sword because he was told this is the one thing that can
Yeah,
bring you back home. Although
right.
he doesn't know how to do that, and there's so many cool homages to like the Conan He-Man. I mean, all that stuff. There's
Yeah.
like so many homages to different things, and it's just a lot of fun. And then when he kind of gets the sword, that's when people come for him. And then like it kind of starts going and takes a while for him to figure out what he needs to do. But there's a couple of parts in it that's just really cool. There's some sad parts. There are casualties. Um, there's a
From
cool
what I
part where
understand,
Skeletor fixes his jaw. He gets hit so hard his jaw gets dislocated, and he's like, fixes it. And he
from
looked amazing.
from what
He
I
and he was
understand, Dan, the soundtrack is incredible by Queen, and some of the old music they've readjusted it, and it's very
Oh,
good.
they
I
they
heard that.
start playing. They start playing. We are the or Princes of the Universe, and I got
Yeah,
goosebumps because
right.
I love that song.
So do I.
And they kept the cops that arrested Adam kept calling him Highlander because of the sword, and
Uh,
I thought that was kind of a nice little nod. And that song's in there, and that's from that movie. But then, like when he really gets to the crescendo, then the movie does something silly with and during the song, and I'm like, oh man, you really had me here emotionally, and then you kind of rug pulled me, um, but no, that's really the only complaint is a little
well,
too silly.
and
So
I
if they
heard
do
the
a
casting
sequel,
is very well too. The casting was very well with all the
oh
characters.
yeah, it was really well done. The acting was good. Evil Lynn I thought was a little weak on some of her lines, but Tila was excellent, and she wasn't like a boss babe. I mean, she's a little bit of a boss babe, but she already is one. Like
Yeah,
that's who she is, and it's
right,
like
right.
she's pretty cool. And there's some tension between her and Adam, and then and there's some sadness that happens, and then some
There's
happiness.
what about the characterizations? Do you feel that the characters that are supposed to be like Man at Arms is Man at Arms, Teela is Teela, Evelyn is Evelyn, Skeletor is Skeletor,
Oh,
uh,
absolutely,
all these characters are accurate to their characterizations?
absolutely. When the CEO and the CEO of Mattel, and then the director of the movie said that they put a lot of heart and soul into this, they weren't kidding. Like I feel like these are those characters. Um, yeah, Skeletor is amazing. Like
And
he
I heard
even
there's
when
some
he calls
cameos
somebody
in
a
there
royal
that
he calls somebody a royal boob like he did in the cartoon, and I lost it. I was like, that's so awesome. But
and I,
he's evil. He's completely evil and ruthless.
right,
He's not like a
campy.
comedy gimmick.
He's not a campy character. Well, that's good
No, because
because I
he
like the
does
2000 Skeletor better, to be honest.
he does some bad stuff, but
Yeah,
Beastman's cool, and then just the way he reacts, the way Skeletor reacts with his subordinates, it's like just when you think you might be his boy or his girl, you're kneeling lower than you thought you could ever go,
yeah,
and he's about to kill you, and then mad at you because he hadn't left looking for the sword. But no,
gotcha.
the special effects were good. And I don't really worry about special effects in movies anymore because like it's not the 1980s, which we'll be talking about 1983, the movies really soon. But I mean, I think less is more. I'm more like how John Favreau did Iron Man, whereas the Stan Winston Iron Man suit creation, practical effects, CGI when you need it.
Does this feel
Um,
like that? Does it feel like a green screen in every scene?
th- Not obviously. I mean, it is, but it's really nice how they blended it. I mean, I don't know anything about the director, and I don't know like what approach he took to it, but it just there. I don't know. It was a fun movie. And I mean, being a fan of this stuff, you kind of already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like I'll never forget seeing the second J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie, and when you see Peter Weller, aka RoboCop, is like the Admiral of Starfleet or something. It's like, well, he's a bad guy. My wife's like, how do you know? And I'm like, seriously, I've been watching this stuff for years, reading comics.
We can
Trust
pretty
me,
much predict
wrestling.
this stuff. Plots are
He's a
not that.
heel.
Yeah, you can pretty much map out a plot. For people like ourselves that are comic book readers, that are nostalgic fans of film and a lot of pop culture and stuff like and watching animation stuff, it's not that difficult to figure out a plot.
Oh yeah, and the plot's not anything like super complex in this movie, but I don't need it to be Inception. I just need it to be fun and
Yeah,
enjoyable, and that's what it was. And
sounds
you and
like.
I talked about this.
Oh yeah.
Movies have been lacking that
Oh
for
yeah.
years now.
That's what we
And
needed. We needed these popcorn movies. We needed these tentpole movies to go back to the theater and just go and have a good, fun time and take our minds off of our everyday lives and all the things that are going on in the world today, and just take it easy for 2 hours and just escape. That's what this is supposed to be. That's what this movie is. That's what Star Wars is. I'm expecting that's what Spider-Man and a bunch of other movies, Supergirl and Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter, and Dune and Avatar and all this stuff and Marvel, all that's going to be. That's exactly what it's supposed to do.
what I saw, speaking of Marvel, I saw where Robert Downey Jr., I guess, and I'm going to paraphrase it, came out and said something about um, we have to earn the fans' trust again.
Yeah.
And then I guess they're going to re-release Endgame at some point with added scenes
Oh,
to kind of. It's like almost like they're forgetting the years in between
yeah.
because they just went in such a really bad direction. If only the failed comics they did doing that stuff would have let them know that that stuff wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
Um, but I hope it works out. And I'm sorry that the Star Wars movie didn't do better because I thought, hey, I'm probably not going to go see it, but I hope people that want to see it and love it, and that it does well because it just bodes well, for everybody. If
Well,
these
I
movies
love
do
I
good.
love the Star Wars movie, and it only was in a couple of countries when it landed. It landed in England first, and then it landed in someplace in South America, and then it landed in America. So we've got an entire world for Star Wars and Grogu to get to around the globe. So
I hate that stuff where they release movies overseas before here.
yeah,
And I think that's just disrespectful to America because that's where this stuff originates from.
yeah,
And it's like, just do it all on the same day.
yeah.
Like, why do you need to? Because there was something that they released it in, this is like 10 years ago. It might have been like one of the Avenger movies or Marvel Universe movies. It released in China first, and then it was going to be in the States 2 weeks later, or it was going to be in Russia. And then I'm like, why? Why? Like, why is it not released here and then there?
I don't
Because
know.
if we like it, we're going to carry on about it, and
Yeah.
they'll see that and they'll want to see it, or just release it all on the same day or semi day because it's nighttime or daytime
Why?
elsewhere where it's turning night here. But
Got to be
um,
logistics and the fact that they have to change the language and blah 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 for other countries and stuff like that. So it's not that easy to release a film in every country at the same time. But the fact that they already translated to Spanish for it to be in South America, there's obviously they were ahead of it and stuff like that. And England and America are the same language. Kind of. We speak English, but yeah, I agree with you. I think it should be released here. If it's an American movie, should be released here. If it's a Japanese movie, should be released in Japan or wherever the country is that it's made. Should be released there first and then spread out around the globe. But it doesn't always work that way. My
yeah, I don't
brother,
understand the strategy in that.
my
But
my brother, who's a film critic, will see a lot of foreign movies from other countries, and they can't see it. Like there was a documentary that was filmed in a war-torn country, and if they knew that that movie was being filmed, they would have killed the director and everybody that was involved in that film. And so it aired over here first. So there's a lot of other reasons for films being aired and wherever they're being aired, political reasons and different legal reasons and sociological reasons and things like that. So it's just one of those things of society. We just got to take it where we can see it.
yeah, I know that China had Disney butcher the episode 8 because they did not like the character of Flynn or
Yeah.
people that resemble Flynn.
Right.
And that was their government, Chinese government, that is, not the people
Yeah.
of China, but their
Yep.
government.
I'll say I sent out when I was used to sell on eBay back in the day in like the late 90s, early 2000s, when there was a much better place to sell on. I would sell animated a series as complete sets, and I sold some sets of Spider-Man, the 90s Spider-Man animated series, to some people in the Middle East and stuff like that. That got flagged by their government and their secret agency because there's terrorists in Marvel cartoons, and Marvel characters are terrorists and stuff like that. So the 2 episodes that had Doctor Doom in it, they did not get those 2 episodes because he's a
Wow,
terrorist. So
that's crazy.
it's not
Speaking
much.
of, what's your favorite anime?
My favorite anime, I would say, is Akira.
I'm a big Gotcha Man fan.
Voltron. I liked Voltron. I liked. I liked. Gatchaman was a little after my time. There's a lot of good stuff that came out in the 80s that was anime that I liked. It's not Star Blazers, is it? Yeah, I guess it is Star Blazers.
Yeah, yeah.
Star Blazers is really good. The I think it's called like the iBots is really good.
Orbots, maybe.
Orbots, the Mighty Orbots. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I've never watched that on CBS or ABC on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, so there was a lot of good stuff back in the day. Star Blazers was probably my number one. I've watched all of it. I have the entire series of that, and I've seen the movie and stuff like that, and I love it. A lot of people didn't even know they did a movie of that, but I did.
I like the Gundam stuff. I was a big Gundam Wing fan.
Gundam, yeah, that was a
I think they
90s.
would do something with that here because it's hitting its anniversary.
I believe they're doing a live action Gundam film.
Huh. Then did you ever watch The Big O?
I've heard of it, but I didn't watch it. No.
I'd recommend you. I think you'd like it. It gets weird. There's only 2 seasons because the finale of the last or the second season got really weird. It got real Matrixy. Yeah, I think somebody saw the second Matrix movie and it's like, oh, let's copy that, you know.
Yeah.
But I'd recommend it. It's a cool concept, and I think it could be revisited and still do well. And of course, I like Dragon Ball Z.
Ghost in the Shell is very good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There was one that was on HBO. Ultraviolet. Is it Ultraviolet? No.
Shoot, I know what you're talking about. It's like on the. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just can't think of the name of it. I'll think of it later.
Maybe the chat could help us out. Chat, if you
no comments in the chat.
Well, chat, if you are listening, help us out. What was that anime on HBO? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Spawn was on HBO, right?
No. Spawn was on HBO. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep.
Yeah, that was well, that's not anime, but
not anime, cool. But a lot of cartoons were shipped over to Japan and China and stuff, and they were done in that very anime style. Like Thundercats and Silverhawks and Tiger Sharks are all done in Asia completely, and so they have that aesthetic and that feel of anime and the animation that was done in the 80s for Voltron, Gundam.
Well, Sunbow had some
Star Blazers and all that stuff.
Asian influence too. So
yeah.
Hey, I just saw something, and of course, I don't know if it was a clickbait thing, but I saw where Thundercats just now got greenlit for a movie.
Well, that was about 6 or 8 months ago that happened, actually. But there's been a lot of buzz about that. That they hope that they don't make fun of it like they're doing with this He-Man movie. They're having too much tongue in cheek with this He-Man movie. They did it with Barbie as well, and they're hoping that they don't do that with Thundercats, because Thundercats is a very serious anime series.
Check the chat. I think we got a comment in chat.
I have one comment. Yep. We just got one comment, and it's yo, 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 what's happening, gentlemen?
What's going on?
Talking about toys and comics and cartoons and
He-Man
awesome
and,
stuff.
and fisting with Fisto.
Fisting! He fisted me too hard, He-Man! Can you not fist me that hard? Thundercats movie would be dope. Yep. Gen X. Yeah, that's a good one. But that's a big thing in my circles. If you know my circles, if you know, you do, you know. If you don't worry about it.
I'm not touching that with a ram man, a 10-foot ram man. Anyway,
all right. So yeah, Masters of the Universe. It's worth seeing. It's a great movie for nostalgia and fun, adventure, escapism, popcorn eating movie. But it's not going to win any Academy Awards.
no, I mean none of the movies we like do that. But this is a fun movie. You can take your kid to see it, or kids, or whatever situation is. I enjoyed it. My son enjoyed it. My son's 9.5, and he liked it. He's not into it like we are, obviously, because we have an emotional connection to it from growing up with it.
Exactly.
But it wasn't like what I was trying to say last week on the He-Man episode, that the Filmation Filmation He-Man, it was cool. It's special. I like to watch it from time to time, but it does not hold up as well as the Sunbow G.I. Joe or Transformers does.
There's definitely a much more tongue-in-cheek
But
aspect to the Filmation.
that being said, this movie didn't feel like that. This movie didn't feel like something, if I watched it again, it's not going to hold up. It felt like just a really fun movie.
Yeah, I think it does connect to the original lore quite a lot. Jen Zog, I think that's Jen Zog.
What was this? Read what his comment was.
It says, "I'll be checking it out as long as it's fun and sticks close to the original lore."
Oh yeah, you'll dig it. It's and like I said, it's got a cool narration. Looks like we got 3 comments.
Yeah, it's all the same person.
Oh, okay. It sticks to the lore, and when Adam.
Would you say it's better or worse than the 80s Dolph Lundgren film?
I think going by today's standards, it would be better than that film. For He-Man fans, it's a better film because it sticks. You're in Grayskull, you're in the palace, you're in the woods of Eternia, you're in Eternia, and the reason they're on Earth is because he's hidden on Earth, and like once that all gets worked out, we're not back on Earth again, kind of till like sort of the end of the movie, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it.
I know there's 3 cameos in the credits, and one of them has to do with his sister. So I will spoil that. His sister does get somewhat kind of a cameo, but you can take what you want of that. But there's 2 other cameos.
Yeah, there's a very certain character that shows up, and it made me just smile and giddy when he does what he does.
So,
and there's just a funny comment he does. He says something with a straight face. Well, you can't really see his face, but he says something, and it's just so funny what he says, and it just I want to repeat it so bad, but I'm not going to do it.
From what I understand, the 3rd credit scene is useless, and it's not even worth staying until the end of the movie to see it. That's another spoiler.
Well, the one with Adora, that's the last one.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, there's kind of like a little.
Maybe it's the middle one then? I don't know. They said one of the 3 is like a wasted a credit scene that it's not worth waiting for, but I don't know.
No, it's all worth waiting. Wait.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no. 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 Adora's not the last one. The last one. No, I won't spoil what that is because it. Sit through it. It makes sense. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but it makes sense.
Okay.
Um. So yeah, I'd recommend the movie. It's fun. It's you're watching He Man.
Right.
It's
Well,
not.
anybody that's going to see it in our generation, they know what they're going to watch. Great.
Yeah, and I just hope
It's
it
like
really
no
connects with
shocker.
kids.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we did go to Target after seeing the movie, and why I did get the kids He-Man and kids Skeletor, which are really great figures, by the way. The for $11. And I think that He-Man looks better than the collector version, unless somebody swapped them out. Because Wyatt was making fun of the collector one's face. He was like, "What's wrong with his face? It looks like I got slapped or something." It probably somebody figure swapped. But he didn't ask. I asked him, "Do you want to get a He-Man and a Skeletor?" And he's like, "Yes." But he didn't say, "Daddy, Daddy, can we get?" So I'm kind of hoping kids are like, "Daddy, Daddy," or "Mommy,
Well,
Mommy."
but that's a big thing, though, right? For this movie, Mattel went really, really in for this. This is a major merchandising, global thing with this film. This is not something that they just chipped on and didn't spend any money. They spent a lot of money for promotion, for merchandising
Oh yeah,
everywhere. It's
and
basically it's at
I think
Krispy
Hasbro's
Kreme.
probably over there scratching their head and their chin, and they're like, "Ooh, yeah, maybe we should have been more faithful to the source material with some of
Exactly.
the our projects
Yeah.
previously."
Yep.
Which it's still time. But no,
Well, we
I
get they did greenlight the new Energon Universe animated series. Did get greenlight, and it is moving forward. And then there's multiple GI Joe Transformer movies in different stages of the pipeline. So we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But there's a lot of stuff coming for GI Joe and Transformers.
I think if He-Man is indeed successful or moderately successful, they will. Other than the Energon animated series, which that's a home run, a grand slam, if you
Oh
will.
yeah, oh
I
yeah.
think that they'll reevaluate what they're going to do,
Well, there
because
is a
the one
rumor of a
thing,
sequel
the one
already.
thing about what's go ahead.
There's also rumor of a sequel already in the plans.
Oh, for He-Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if it does well, they're going to green light it, and it'll make sense, um, especially with some of the end credit scenes. Well, Sam Jackson
Well,
shows up and gets He-Man and Fisto to join the Avengers. No, I'm teasing. Uh,
but the thing about
that's like the
But the thing about
funniest.
end credit scenes, they don't always pay off. So don't bet on that 100%.
Well, you see a certain place,
Etheria?
yeah, and you see a certain factory-looking castle.
Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
Horde,
like,
the Horde Castle? Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's like spot on.
Yeah.
I will say this, that the thing I appreciated about this movie, and like I said, I was a little turned off by some of the silliness. Like it was too, let's make fun of ourselves because it's the only way we're gonna be taken serious. Which I
Well,
think you
but
could have
that's how
been
they did the Barbie movie.
sure. And I didn't see Barbie. I heard it was good though, but the I did appreciate that it stuck close to the lore. It wasn't like we're He Man an international group, like they did with GI Joe, or our bases, strangely enough, in Egypt. Like well, Castle Grayskull's in Idaho or Iowa or something. They didn't do anything. It's where it's supposed to be. Everything's the way it's supposed to be. The vehicles, the aesthetics, the costumes, the characterization. I mean,
Well,
Skeletor to me
based off of
still.
like characters like Spycore and Beastman and Trapjaw, that
Spycore
legit
is
like those
terrifying.
characters.
And then one of the characters, the white haired thing from the Dolph Lundgren movie, is in it.
Oh, Sar, right?
I can't think what their name was, but he's got hooks, and he was
Sauron or Sawblade or something. I don't know.
something like that. But that because I was like, oh, that's from the original, or that's from the '87 movie. Because
So
the
that's
one,
what I heard. That was one of the criticisms of this that I've heard is that they tried to lean into all the different iterations of Masters of the Universe, and they went too far trying to lean into all those things.
oh
They
no, I
should
didn't,
have
I didn't, I
limited.
didn't feel that way. I thought they did a good job. Like you see Trap Jaw, it is Trap Jaw. You see Triclops, it's Triclops. You see Beastman, it's Beastman. It's not because I know like when I was a kid, even though I liked the '87 movie and I love it today, um, it all those villains other than I mean even Skeletor looked different. Everybody looked different except for He-Man, and Man at Arms. Everybody looked different because they were Hollywood. They had to fit in with Hollywood or whatever. But I mean, Duncan's got the armor. Tila's got her outfit. Skeletor, to me, still is the show. Like
From what I understand, Man at Arms is like the ultimate Man at Arms because there is not a crease or a cranny in that armor that doesn't have something popping out of it.
oh, he's got some great lines and some great scenes, and he's got a few things he has to overcome. But no, I highly recommend it. If I hate to compare it to the old movie because the old movie is one, I love it because it's from special moment with my sister. Two, I love it. It's in the '80s. Three, I loved it when I saw it. It's nostalgic and all that. And it's always easy to say the latest is the greatest,
Well,
but this is really good. But you're not going to see this. Like I know the complaints. I recently watched the Toys That Made Us episode with He-Man because I wanted to brush up on some of the uh,
lore.
not the lore, but like some of the behind the scenes, like little trivia that I may not remember, or know right off the top of my head.
Yeah, yeah.
And about two guys claiming to have created it and all that stuff. But like one of the things they were saying, the criticism of the '87 movie is everybody's like, when does Skeletor get stormtroopers or Cobra guys, or when did who are these new villains? Like, where are the other ones? Where are all the heroes at?
Well,
This movie doesn't do that. This movie, you got freaking Mechanic doing his thing, and it was.
The thing about it is the way that I look at the '80s film. It's further down the timeline. It's like where Eternia has become a little dystopia, a little bit worn out from battle and all these fights with Skeletor.
I did too. I did when I saw it.
Yeah, I could tell that's a little bit down the road a little bit. So it could actually almost be a sequel to this because I really like that film. I think Gwildor, Billy Barty, Frank Langella as Skeletor, and Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, and then Courtney Cox and the gentleman from Star Trek Voyager, Robert Duncan McNeil, and then the guy from Back to the Future, the bald guy. He just died a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
I think they were all fantastic characters and did a really good job.
And like I said last week, I don't know if you saw I know you were doing your big interviews.
No, but I did watch it after the fact. So
I'd said that the trope in the '80s was you always have to go through the teenage perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the trope. I mean, from 16 Candles, kind of Caddyshack as well.
Yeah,
because you're going from Danny Noonan the caddy, but 16 Candles.
They have to have that. You got to have that.
This was kind of that same vein.
Like to get into that, you have to have from that young eyes, that youthful eyes to get into the story and get into the idea of it and stuff. And yeah, I agree with you. All the movies in the '80s had youthful people that brought you into whatever the thing was, whether it be a horror movie, action movie, sci-fi movie, fantasy
like this
movie,
This didn't have like Gary Coleman
of it, right?
This didn't have like Gary Coleman stuck in Eternia, and you know
what I'm talking.
Man, what you talking about, Willis? How do I get out of here? Who is this Willis, young man? It's like it wasn't like that. So you're in the perspective from the characters, the way it should be, and they are the characters. There's no doubt that that's Skeletor. There's no doubt that's Evelyn. There's no doubt that's Man at Arms. I mean, of course, they got to update it a little bit, obviously, but it's pretty spot on, man. And I really liked it. I'd probably see it again. I just don't have extra time these days. So but it's not like I go to the movies a lot. But when you have a kid, it's your time's a little ate up, and he just started doing jujitsu. So yeah, and he's doing pretty good at it. So
good job.
Yeah, so I've got to be careful. He might come down here and choke me out, and then like, this is the Wyatt podcast now. What's up, David? Watch me open all my daddy's toys that are in the box still. Ha ha, you'd be like, no, 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 Wyatt, no, that's $100.
He
Don't do
doesn't
that.
seem like
You
that
know.
type of kid to me. All the videos that you shared of him and stuff, doesn't
Oh,
seem like that type of kid. Seems
no,
like a
he's
really good
not.
kid.
It's interesting because the other day in the store, I think it was Wednesday, this guy comes in with these two kids, and I guess the mom might have been there, and they're just going buck wild, dropping boxes, picking up puzzles and dropping the box, hot, excuse me, Hot Wheels, all that stuff. And I was like, I wish Wyatt was here and a little bit younger because he would just go up and like punch him in the hand and be like, "Stop messing with my future," or like, if you're not going to buy it, don't touch it. Like he's not like that. But I made the comment that like I've taken him since since it was like safe to leave the house with him when he was little, because I was terrified the first week. Like I gotta, he has to eat. Okay, how do we feed him? And you figure that out really quick. But like he went everywhere with me, and when he got to walking and all that, never ever ever got into stuff. And I mean, I had to take him to Target, the bank, the toy mall, all these places, my store. And he might walk up and touch a box, but that's it. Like he didn't tear stuff up or,
It was
and
very
I'm
well
like,
behaved. That's good.
it's just how you love your
You bring him
children
up.
and
Oh yeah, you bring him
treat
up
them.
properly. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because when they
So,
do that stuff, they just want attention.
so we got some other nostalgia things to talk about in
Yeah,
this
we do.
episode.
So, bottom line on He-Man, go see it. It's a good film. Is it a great movie? No, but it's a very good movie, and I loved it. I liked it a lot. My son liked it. David, when he officially sees it, will like it. Um, and we should spoil the crap out of it on Sunday on Toy Talk.
Yeah, because Terry will be very upset if we do that because he does not like it when we spoil stuff.
We
So
should
yeah,
just
we
make
should.
stuff up. We
Be
should just
certain.
make it like, I can't believe that Orko killed Battle Cat. That was just like insane. And then oh man, and then Dreamhouse Barbie showed up and He Man left with her.
He
We should
jumps
do
onto
some.
the screen and he goes to Mattel and beats up the owner of Mattel. Yeah, that'd be funny.
No, I like that CEO. He was cool. He's got a
Yeah,
cool
if you like that
accent too.
video, I shared to you because I thought you would because I know you don't care for Chris Cox that much. So
I don't
I
know
bet
what ever
Dan
gave you
would
that
really like this.
opinion. I don't know ever.
So we got another comment here. John Flut says, "Great film."
Agreed. Agreed. Now I'll ask you guys in the DanCast world there in the digital stream in the Matrix there. Which movie do you guys like better, the original, '87, or do you like this new one better? I think everyone's going to say the new
Or
one, and I
or
would
do
kind
you
of
like
agree with that.
Secret of the Sword better?
Oh, that's another special movie. Um,
Those are considered the three feature films of He-Man: is the Secret of the Sword, the Dolph Lundgren, and now this one. So I think this one kind of fits between Secret of the Sword and the Dolph Lundgren. If you want to
my
watch it
dad,
in order,
when I was 11, 10 or 11, my mom and dad split up for a year and a half.
John Fluff
And
says the new one.
good choice. And my dad took my sister and I to see that movie.
And
And
Jen,
it's all about family in that movie. And I think that might have helped get my parents back together at that time. And so that movie means a lot to us. But anyway,
Jen Zog says he was not a fan of the '87 one.
well,
So it seems like most people like the new one better. So there you go.
yeah, well, I think the new one's more of a He-Man movie. The old one was just a movie with He-Man in it and a kick-ass Skeletor. But I digress. But no, I this new one's great. I like it. I like it a lot. I'd recommend it. I hope it does gangbusters. I want to see 10 of these movies.
Yeah, I want to see more. I think the nostalgia. What do you feel about the '80s nostalgia's return? Because there's a new Voltron movie, there's a new Power Rangers movie, there's multiple GI Joe Transformer projects in the pipeline.
Man, I tell you what, I
got
talk about this all the time, and I'll have
Thundercats
episodes of
Masters
this
of the Universe.
show that I'll talk about this from 76 to 96. There's no greater period of time for stuff we like.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go back and look at the Olympics. The Olympics were cool back then.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
You had the Lakers and the Celtics. Wrestling was just at a crescendo. Music, TV, movies, cartoons. That we grew up in a great era,
I don't
And
know. Hold on just a minute. I don't think I think he's pulling our legs with this one, but he says, I might have to go with the Christmas special.
that's a fun one too.
I don't know if he's pulling our leg because that is just way over the top, family like schlock.
I liked it, but yeah, Secret of the Sword's nice.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into some G.I. Joe news.
Yeah, so this week we had Yojo June. It's
Started.
just started rather. Hasbro has this edict that June is GI Joe month, which I think is great.
Yep.
There might have been somebody that suggested that in a pitch 8 years ago. Uh, so who knows? Maybe that got looked
From what
at.
I
And,
understand, it was the first time that they came out to stores, or it was released in stores or something. It's not when the comic was released, from what we discussed on Toy Talk a
sure.
couple weeks ago. That was in October, I
Well, I
guess.
think June's
But
good because it's the
stories
start of the
came out in
summer.
June. Yeah,
It's the start of the summer, regardless.
Right.
If you really want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
But no, so every June, and it seems this one they're doing a little bit better than previous.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think because we have BMAX running the show now.
Yep.
So like every week we're getting a live stream with with new information and stuff that's coming out. I watched it. I missed the first part of it. Didn't really
Well,
care for Dan Larson's comment about that's not my Cobra Commander because he was trying to get a little political and stuff. And it's like, can we just have one thing
the
without
thing
that
about
stuff?
the thing about that Cobra Commander is that it is very reminiscent of the battle commander, Cobra Commander, and it's not as close to the actual mail away hooded Cobra Commander. So he is accurate about that. They are not the
Okay,
same.
okay,
They are
maybe
not the
that's what he was meaning. Then
Yeah.
it's hard to
But
tell with him sometimes.
but
But
there's a couple other things before that. The night before, BMAC put out a press release or whatever, one of his things that he does. And there's a couple of big things in that I think we should address before we get
yeah,
into Yojo June. The
go
first
for it.
thing is there's no HasLab. G.I. Joe HasLab. There's none. He said it in his press release. 2, they are
Well,
not
wait a minute.
going to
What guy was saying that?
be
Screaming
mad.
that from the mountain? No, what guy
Me
not involved in Hasbro was saying that? You.
for months.
So yeah, and then what guy was talking about King Cobra Commander that people were like, "Rrr." I even had my buddies message me like, just ordered these on Pulse, and I'm like, why? We're getting them. I didn't know you were getting them. Like, this is what I told you 6 months ago. This is what I talked about in a live stream. We're getting Hooded Cobra Commander, and I
No
said
one listens, and they don't
what
believe us.
what I was told was you're going to get Hooded Cobra Commander, and you're going to pay through the nose for it. That's
And
the
you
trade
did.
off.
And
Oh
you did.
yeah, but I think that throne is
$78.
pretty. That throne is pretty awesome.
But
Go
before
back
we
to what
jump
you're
to
saying.
Cobra Commander,
Yeah.
hold on. So the other big thing on that news press release is that they thanked everybody for being fans. They said they're not going anywhere. Classified as staying put, and it's going to be here for a while. And they're going to go into the new design team. They've hired the new designer, and they're gonna go into that at San Diego Comic-Con. So hold fire on that until then. They're gonna go into that. So those are the 3 big things in that news press release: that the line isn't going anywhere, that there's no HasLab, and they got a new designer, and it's coming in San Diego Comic-Con. They'll talk about that, and we'll get more into that. So I wanted to get that out there first, because a lot of people are asking these questions. I'm like, what are you doing out there, people in YouTube land and social media land? Are you not paying attention? So you need to be linked up with BMAC on Instagram, Weather Dominator on Instagram, The Great Tonino on Instagram, Full Force. You won't be missing all this stuff, and you'll believe us when we tell you this stuff, because we're involved. We know what's going on. All right.
Well, so real quick, before I forget, I got an email today from Lunar. I got invited to a conference call regarding G.I. Joe Real American Hero 330.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on with that book. It says it's going to be a major first appearance.
Snake Eyes.
Big, and they said they're not going to say what it is.
Snake Eyes.
Oh, he's already in the book.
Oh, a Real American Hero?
Yeah, Real American
Oh,
Hero.
Larry Hama's series.
Yeah.
Who was not in that? Globulus.
I don't think Larry's going to touch that.
No, he's not going to touch
No,
Globulus.
now going back to the Energon universe. I have a theory that that girl that the Valkyrie that wielded the Energon sword. I have a theory that Snake Eyes' twin sister. Don't know
Maybe
anything.
Sundown. Maybe
I,
Sundown.
I don't know anything. I just that's my theory.
Mm.
It's not that we can't say anything
Yeah.
because they said when he's coming, they said we will let you know when Snake Eyes is coming, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
guys can order appropriately and make money.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But no, so I don't know, but Real American Hero number 330. They're having a conference call next Friday that I'll be a part of, and they're still not even gonna tell us what the reveal is. It's that top secret.
Wonder what it could be. Interesting.
I'm like, what character could it be? I mean,
is it Action Man?
No, I doubt that. Although he looks cool.
We'll get into Action Man in a little while, but yeah, interesting. I'll be waiting for your insight into that to me and Terry after the fact. So make sure you let us know. So let's get to the post stream was 11 a.m. on Wednesday. So we got a lot of this stuff previewed earlier. We got obviously the Fatal Fluffy, the Cadet Deming, and Shipwreck. We're sending you Comic-Con exclusives. And then we got the night before, we got some clues of Cobra Commander and some photos and stuff like that. And he looks phenomenal. When they said they're doing deluxe, they went deluxe because he really does have everything. Except for a second head. I would have liked to have had a different head besides the cowled head. I would have liked to have had his other head, but that's the only thing I felt missing. But that throne is so ornate, so detailed. There's so much cool stuff with it. The layering, the gold, the pearls, the jewels, everything that comes with it. And he comes with everything. He comes with the cape from the Supreme Cobra Commander. He's got the scepter. He's got the earth with the snake, just like I said, multiple hands, a gun, a knife, all kinds of really fun stuff. He looks great.
Yeah, I think he looks amazing. And real quick to something, why is it that people in the fandom think like the line is going to end because one of the designers leaves?
Because that's like, the sky is falling mentality of this fan base.
That I don't understand. I've never understood that as a G.I. Joe fan, and like back when the message boards were like the Facebook or Facebook group, era or whatever.
Right.
And like I just never understood that. Like I just never understood that. Because I remember when the anniversary figures were coming out and somebody had posted pictures, these are fake, these aren't real, and then the line's dead, and then like it comes out, they never apologized to that guy. Destro's my spirit animal just had that nonsense.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, look, we announce stuff, we talk about stuff well in advance. Like we told them there's a dinosaur coming. We told them that Tomb Raider's coming. We told them that the Fatal Fluffies is coming. We told them there's a Hooded Cobra Commander's coming. We told you guys everything. We can pretty much tell you this stuff in advance, but we can only do so much because we don't know everything, but we know certain things. And when we tell you the line is not going anywhere, it's going to continue till at the minimum mid 28. I know that they've already started working on mid 28. So, it's got another 2.5 years to go.
Oh, it's going to go. I think it'll go longer than that. As long as the people doing the line enjoy it and the line's making money, they're going to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll expand it too. Like you already see with Tomb Raider and Action Man and some other things that they kind of, in the legacy stuff, they kind of expanding into other things with it, which I think is great. So like from my perspective, like I order stuff, like everything they're releasing and talking about, I've already ordered the stuff that I can. Like I didn't know about the Vamp or the Grand Slam and all that.
Well, I knew about the Vamp from another source.
But I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean,
just they like told we did us the Vamp year that we're going to get all of the OG-13 this year. So we knew Grand Slam was coming. It wasn't a secret. And then they name dropped him on the April Pulse. So we knew it 2 months ago. It was just a matter of how they were going to deliver that.
So let's cover real quick. Let's cover the Cadet Deming Shipwreck and then the Fatal Fluffies, because I know we talked about it on Toy Talk. but this is new for some of the people on here.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, the San Diego Comic Con is going to have two GI Joe exclusives.
Yeah.
One's going to be a 2-pack from the episode "There's No Place Like Springfield," the two-parter where Shipwreck.
Can I preface this real fast? Real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah.
If you look at a lot of the other brands, the major brands that Hasbro, the collector brands, Transformers, Star Wars, and Marvel Legends, almost everything that they're doing for San Diego Comic-Con is related to an animated series. They just showed the C-3PO, Boba Fett, Stormtrooper, and R2-D2 from the Droids cartoon from the 80s.
Oh, wow.
The Marvel Legends 2 San Diego Comic-Con sets are the Spider-Man from the 66 animated series with Electro and Lizard from that cartoon, and a new version of Professor X by himself with a different chair, much more animated, from the X-Men animated series from the 90s. And then there's a Transformers and Gem crossover animation thing for San Diego. So all the San Diego Comic-Con is all animated, and that's why we're getting 2 Sunbow animated exclusives with G.I. Joe.
See, I think it's those are perfect exclusives.
Yep.
You know, like when they did when the line first came out, and somebody had the genius idea to make the Cobra Trooper a Target exclusive. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, that was
You
dumb.
know,
yeah,
or the Cobra Viper. You know,
Yeah.
like
or Major Blood,
exclusives.
or Zartan. You know?
Well, exclusives should be like,
it should have been Supreme Cobra Commander. It should have been like oddball stuff, like maybe that movie's like the Amazon Arctic Storm Shadow. That was a good exclusive because that was an Arctic version of Storm Shadow. It wasn't the main version of Storm Shadow. Or, you know, things that were weird versions.
We'll talk about these in chronological order. So we'll start with the Fatal Fluffies. The Fatal Fluffies debuted in the 3rd G.I. Joe miniseries, The Pyramid of Darkness. They were up in the space station. They were these little fuzzy things like teddy bears.
They're basically gremlins.
They're basically gremlins, but it was kind of playing off like Teddy Ruxpin Care Bear aesthetics. And then they turned into these big, giant, brute-looking things like bison with horns and fur and all that.
Yep. And fire breathing.
Yeah, shoot fire out of their mouth and they growl and work. You know, they just say that. Yeah, it's like my off days at home with my wife, and she's work. You know, like, oh, I got to turn the gravity off in the house so I can get away. So no, those look really, really cool. Yeah. We had heard rumblings about that.
Much bigger.
Yes, and Destro's my spirit animal. He did mention those in his little
so did we.
Breakdown of, and we did too. But no, these are. I think these are cool, and these are exactly what exclusives should be. And in the second San Diego exclusive is the No Place Like Springfield, Shipwreck, and Cadet Deming. And those that don't know, that's a really kind of almost twisted, deep episode where Shipwreck, it's a 2-parter, and Shipwreck thinks that it's 5 years later, G.I. Joe's done, he's the hero of the day, he stops Cobra Commander, he's married with a kid, and it's all an illusion. And it's got a very sad part at the end that a lot of people don't pick up on because it just kind of speeds through. At the end, there's a fire in his quote-unquote house, and Lady J and Flynn are like, Shipwreck, what's wrong? Was there something in that house? And he's like, no, nothing. You know, like I'm paraphrasing what he says.
Yeah, his happy life was in that house.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
His secret fantasy life.
Yeah.
But no, those are really cool deep dives into the cartoon lore, and I think those are perfect for exclusives.
And the fact that computer console, they did specifically call out.
Yes, we called that. We called that.
Yeah,
we called that on Sunday. You can use that as a mass device.
Yes, so I think it's, or a piece of a mass device. Yes. But if you look at the mass device, I'm going to show it later. It's a larger console. So if you make 4 of those little bits with different people and have different things on the computer going around it, and then at some point you give somebody a gun, the big laser part, then you have the mass device. It's a build-a mass device or build-a weapon dominator, whatever you want to call it. Both. You could do both technically and use that console for both the weather dominator or the mass device.
Can you check the chat real quick?
We got one guy that says, y'all nailed it. And then we got
Thank
another
you.
one that says, will it be a new character? Probably a new character, most likely, for that issue
What's that in
30,
regards to?
a Real American Hero issue 30.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
Well,
a new
it
character.
says it's a debut of somebody,
Yeah, it's
but
got
they
to be
won't.
Sundown or somebody. I don't know.
But well, I mean, they have a conference call.
Yeah.
See, I have a okay. So I know I just said a minute ago that I think Snake Eyes' sister is in the current Energon GI Joe. It wouldn't surprise me if Hama brought her into his continuity as well.
Well, that characters never stayed dead. Bucky never stayed dead. Gwen
Well, he never
Stacy,
died.
Green Goblin. Bucky, yes, he did. He
No,
died in
the
the
Russians
50s.
got him.
Well, he died. He died in the 50s, and they brought him back as the Winter Soldier in the 2000s. But he did. Yeah, he came back.
40s. He blew
My,
he blew. Did you read? Okay, David, I got to take you to task because
he
Bucky's
died. Bucky died.
No, he didn't die. We thought he died.
My
There was
point
an
is,
explosion.
characters never die. Characters in comics never die. That's my point. Bucky, we thought he was dead, but he came back. Gwen Stacy, we thought she was dead. She came back. Green Goblin, we thought he was dead. He came back. Many
He
characters.
comes back like every week.
Right. My point is, Snake Eyes' sister died in the same car accident that he got his face scarred in.
No.
Oh, that was later. That was later. That was later.
No.
Right.
He got his face scarred in the war.
Right.
She died when he was coming back.
Right. In the car. Right.
Yeah, with his
And
parents.
so, yeah,
That's not depressing at all.
I've always thought they should have maybe did something like Bucky or did something like Gwen Stacy and brought her back. So if that's the case, then it is a comic trope that they've been doing for years.
Well, I still hold my. I don't really think that's what issue 330 is.
Oh.
But I'm curious because they said we're not going to tell you either. We're just going to be on the call and talk around it. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But in the Energon universe, I have a feeling that is his sister. Because
who's his sister?
The Valkyrie that had the sword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's like Cobra Commander's all holding her chin.
Doing like a She-Ra ripoff, and she's on the bad guy side, and she's gonna realize she's not really a bad guy; she's kind of a good guy.
You see what David just did there, folks? He did a segue right back to He-Man. So I think those two exclusives are like the very definition of exclusives. Yeah, they're obscure. They're not going to be sold in regular retail.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, would I have people buy them? Sure, I would buy them. But
I'm going to buy them too.
But no, I'm talking about like if they were in regular retail. Yeah, I don't think Big Box would take those. But they don't need to because they're going to be exclusives and they're great. Exactly. So that's the perfect thing for exclusives. Right. Now into Yojo June, we also got what I like. It looks like we're going to have a live stream every week, which I think that's fantastic because they've not really done that before. Like it was last year or the year before, it was a real letdown. Yeah, there was like one live stream and
last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I had to hear about it from a certain customer about Emily.
Well, no, she wasn't in it last year.
There was something. Well, I don't know. He blamed her anyway.
Police officer. They showed the police officer off in the main episode. It was supposed to go up on pre-order the following week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do another stream, and that stream never happened. They did a comic book stream, and then they did a some sort of unboxing of the Rattler HasLab the following week, and then showed the Stinger off. And that was it for last year. So it was a disappointment overall. But this year is not going to be like there. There's going to be 4 episodes. It's going to be on the 3rd. It will be on the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th. But we got a pre-order today that was also part of the Hasbro Pulse stream on Wednesday. They did not tell us it was going to be a pre-order, but from sources I have, I found out it was going to be pre-order. So I made sure I got my pre-order in, and that was Ninja Force, Scarlet, and Shebang. That was today.
Yeah, I got mine ordered. And then speaking of Ninja Force, I sent pictures to you and Terry. I received my Zartan, and good thing I'm not a mint box collector because he was trashed.
Oh, that was you
in the box, smashed. It's going to get opened and displayed, but it's just been, I like that option. If I wanted to have it not destroyed, it looked like it lost a fight with Brock Lesnar. So
sorry.
So, but no, the hooded Cobra Commander, we're getting him. He looks amazing.
Yep.
the level of detail that they put into this, I think, is really great. Um, and the Zartan, I haven't opened him up yet.
Oh,
And I mentioned earlier, oh, sorry, I didn't have coffee today. I mentioned earlier that we got Zanya and the skier at the shop, and we're getting more stuff next week.
here you go.
I showed that to Wyatt in the package. He's like, he looks weird.
Oh no, this is really nice.
Nah,
This
he
is-
looks fun.
oh yeah, he's really nice.
I
When you
never
really
had.
get into it, Dan, and look at all the details and the shading in the hair and a lot of the muscles sculpting and a lot of the deco on the leather jacket, it is really really nice. Better than I ever thought it could be, but it's really good.
You know, it's interesting. Oh, and I don't remember if we talked about this on Toy Talk or maybe we did
Probably
real
not.
briefly. And I think it got mentioned on the Hasbro Pulse, but the GI Joe Ninja Turtles crossover
Oh yeah, we've talked about that dozens of times on Toy
that
Talk.
that just looks fun.
Yeah, it does look fun. I agree with you. I'm gonna try to get it in store. I didn't pre-order any of it. I'm gonna try to get those in the store.
Same here.
I just can't. My bandwidth is just too thin right now. So I'm asking for people in my family to get me that for Christmas.
That's not a bad get. I definitely have to get the Leo / Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
And I wonder how that Dragonfly is comparable to like the 4-inch figures. Like if you took off all the turtle accessories,
I think it's too big.
still too big. Excuse me.
TMNT figures are 5-inch. So GI Joe's a 3 3/4 or 4-inch. So it's going to be
Same
too
size
big for
as
them.
He-Man.
Depends on which version of He-Man.
Well, the Origins is 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5. Yeah, that's true. But the multiverse and a lot of the other larger ones that Matty Collector He-Man series,
Oh yeah,
they're
like
all
7.
like 6-inch.
Man, I was looking at the Matty Collector Castle Grayskull yesterday,
Oh, love that.
and I was just like, I was like Terrence Howard and Iron Man. Next time, baby.
Well, that's a really nice piece. I'm glad I pre-ordered it when I did and got it. But yeah, I missed out on Snake Mountain to go with it, and I'm very upset about that. But back to G.I. Joe. Back to the Pulse stream. So, okay, so we covered the 2 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. We covered the Target exclusive Chibang and Scarlet. Covered Cobra Commander. So those are all the low-hanging fruit. We pretty much knew about all those. So then they showcased
Deep Six,
which I'm very happy about. He looks really good. I think it's going to be really maneuverable, and with that armor, it's going to give that.
What were they talking about troop building with him? Because I thought I heard somebody say something about troop building, and he didn't have any distinguishing like American or GI Joe logo on the front,
Right.
but it was on the back.
Yeah, it says Deep Six on his backpack.
Okay. Now I thought he looked really cool.
Oh, he looks excellent, and they have that like ratcheting noise, like in his things, and he does a lot of maneuverability, and I love that that harpoon. What is the name of that Viking snake that circles the earth?
The Yorgamon.
Yorgaman. Yeah, that really looks cool. And I like the fact 2 different helmets. I'm going to probably go with the more spacey helmet, to be honest. Even though I like his classic, I just, I never really warmed to that. I like this more spacey looking one. And I'm thinking they're going to probably reuse this mold. And we're going to get a lot of Star Brigade in these costumes with some slight decos changes and things like that.
I can totally see that.
Oh, yeah,
totally
right.
see that.
And the skull, the dead skull, and I like their comment about the dead skull. It's like if he's a lonely guy and he was left out and his suit got cracked and now he's at the bottom of the ocean and there's your head. I'm like, well, that's really nice and callous of them, right?
Yeah, I thought he looked really neat. Because to be honest with you, as a kid, that was the lamest GI Joe because of the figure.
Right. He only had arms.
Yeah. But I mean, you understood why,
Yeah, I understood why too.
And then they eventually released a more mobile version of him. But no, I think this looks really cool.
Wasn't he like, if you put the pump on him, didn't he float in the water?
Yeah.
You could put him in the pool and he would float with that pump. So there was a toyetic reason for that costume. It wasn't just because they were cheap or they were lazy. They were trying to do a toyetic thing.
Oh yeah. That's such a great word.
Yeah.
Toyetic.
But I think you're right about, you said something to me a couple of times about the shark where you could probably attack. No, maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was 6N Yojo Daddy, where if they do the shark, and they did comment on the shark, that's why they discluded the shark with him, that they felt the shark could be used for all these different Joes, and they may have the shark coming down the road, which we think there is a shark coming. It's been on the leaked list, and it will come with a troop builder diver of some sort, but have that little attachment to take the backpack off of Deep Six, attach him to the bottom of it, and he could have like the shark as like this big like device that he's floating through the water or flying through the water on. I think that would actually be kind of cool if they designed it like that. And then you could take the bomb that came with the shark off and put him on there instead or whatever. Either way, I think that's something that could be done with him since he's got that attachment for the backpack. Maybe make that attachment on the bottom of the shark as well.
Yeah, they made mention of they kind of mentioned the shark, and then they also kind of made mention of desert.
Oh, there's a lot of desert. I'm going to get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that at the end of this because we got a lot to say about desert. But who's after Deep Six?
Only watched it once, so
okay. No,
I got busy
all
when I had it on.
That was all the low hanging fruit right there. So then they get into some new renders, and we got 3 new renders. One of the renders was Grand Slam with the HAL, and they did comment that HAL is way bigger than you realize, and they said that you would need to have it pulled by like the vamp or something like that, and it's much bigger. BMAX said when he saw it, he was like, what the hell is that? They said that's the HAL, and I think they changed it a little bit. They played around with the aesthetics of it and stuff. It looks really nice, and you can
I'm
see
excited for that one.
The Grand Slam figure in that render is so small, it's like you can hardly see him in that render.
I'm excited for that one. Any chance to get the original 13, I'm all about, because that's a special era, for me with GI Joe and the HAL. I remember playing with that as a kid. I've got one, I'm looking at right now. And then Grand Slam coming with it is just the chef's kiss on that. And I think he'll look. They got the red pads and everything. It looks amazing.
So that's being deco. We know it's been revealed that the next retro line is going to have Flash, and they're probably going to just reuse all that same color.
Super stoked for him.
Swap out some accessories or what have you, and there you go. There's your Flash, right? I'm sure Grand Slam's going to get a reuse as well down the road with a jump pad and that whole spiel as well. So I think there's more reuse coming for that mold. They're not going to make a lot of unique molds like that if they're not going to really get some use out of it. And there's already 2 uses right there.
No, and that's smart. I mean, that's smart,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one looked really good. That one really surprised me. And then the next one they showed was the Vamp Mark II.
Mark II. So we kind of knew that there was going to be a vamp, and they made a lot of comments about this vamp in the Pulse stream. They talked about it. They said, "Look, we did the original vamp, and then we knew we were going to do the Stinger after that, and we were going to reuse this mold multiple times." And
you'd be silly
that's
not
why
to.
we knew we were going to get Mark II. It's obvious. Like anybody with common sense knew we were going to get Mark II, and that's another 80. I think it's 84, 83 Clutch. So that's another check off of an 84 character, Clutch version 2.
84, yeah.
84, right? And it looks fantastic. And they use the Snowcat missile launcher, which looks really nice, and some of the armaments of the Stinger. And it really looks unique and its own thing, but it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I thought it looked, from what I could see, it looked really cool. I always liked the Vamp Mark II. I thought those were just, I'm a big fan of the Vamp in general. I just think it's fun. It's like to me, how G.I. Joe is supposed to be military, but a little bit futuristic.
Oh yeah.
and the vamp felt like a futuristic Jeep.
What
You know,
what's the name of that movie with Barry Bostwick that came out in
oh,
80?
Mega Force.
Megaforce. Doesn't it look very Megaforce to you?
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Of course, Mega Force came out in '82.
Yeah.
You go back to our episode about movies
Yeah.
from 1982.
Right.
Mega Force was in that, and felt like that was kind of that Eagle Force GI
Yeah.
Joe vibe
Yeah.
going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Ant Mark II looks really good. The clutch looks nice, and
Yeah, they have
then
a sleeveless clutch, which people are not happy about.
well, it's hot in the desert. And speaking of the desert, they said
Well, no,
this
man,
isn't
not yet, not yet. I'm going to talk about all the desert at the end when we get a name only. Just give me a moment on that. All right.
sure, sure.
All right. So our next render reveal, which was the only one on this entire stream out of all the clues and everything that they gave that was actually out of blue field that I did not know was coming up until the day before. I found out that it was going to be on the stream the day before, and I was shocked because I loved this particular iteration of this character from the 90s. I have a bunch of the figures from the 90s, the 12-inch ones, and I watched the cartoon in the early 2000s, and that is the British Action Man, another British character.
Yeah, I didn't know about him either, and he looked great.
Oh yeah, he looks really, really good. I think it's really good to get more international characters and play around with that idea. And then maybe now when we get Tomb Raider, we'll have someone to team up her with instead of necessary GI Joe. She can team up with him, and that kind of gives like a layering of not only adversary factions and stuff. It gives a layering of other characters to cross over with GI Joe, not only Action Man and Tomb Raider. So I think that's a really good thing to have, because Cobra has many different layers of their hierarchy. They have Cobra, the Iron Grenadiers, the Crimson Guard, the Dreadnoks, and all these different tiers. But then you have G.I. Joe at the white, right? At the black, and all these other layers are layers of gray in between. And I think you need towards the lighter side, and that's Action Man and Tomb Raider and so on and so forth.
It's kind of like when Magnum PI guest starred on Murder She Wrote.
Yeah.
They're in the same universe, and
Right.
and then she shows up on their show.
And it makes sense that Action Man would show up because we know there's a cameo of Action Man on a particular comic that came out, or is it coming out this week, or did it already come out as one of the blind bag variants, I believe, right?
Nothing I'm aware of.
So Action Man's not one of the variant covers on the blind bag variant of Mask #1.
Nope.
Okay.
I know what the 3 variants are, and it's not one of them.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, never mind then. I got that confused with somebody else.
There's another character that is one of the blind bags, but not allowed to say. But
all right, never mind then.
He's pretty cool, I'll just say.
So yeah,
I think Action Man's a nice add to that. I mean, I've said this before. I would love to see and we were talking earlier, the longevity of the line. I would love to see them doing humanoids characters in this scale, or Visionaries, or Jim and the Holograms. And I'm not gonna lie, I'd buy a Jim and a hologram. I'd have them up there, and the Misfits would obviously be hanging out with the Dreadnoks and stuff.
Yeah.
And Cold Slither, but yeah, I think it would be really cool to see all that stuff in this scale.
Yeah.
I was really hoping when Hasbro had the Disney license under review, like, if they were going to renew that license, I was kind of hoping they wouldn't, so they would invest more in their own properties. Because I think they have some really good properties that just need a little dust knocked off the shoulder and updated a little bit and put out and do a little good.
I think Classified could be the ultimate G.I. Joe line in the entire history of G.I. Joe if they really, really wanted to do that, because we're not only getting crossovers, we're getting legacy, like military type things and stuff like that. We're getting G.I. Joe. We're getting all different factions of G.I. Joe. And I know of some new factions that are coming in the brand later in the year and maybe early next year. I can't say on here right now, but it has to do with the Soviet Union. So hopefully that's a a good enough clue for you out there in YouTube land, fellas. Or
So,
people.
Sam, on what
But,
you're saying there, I
but,
agree because
but let's
they
go back to Masters of the Universe. Matty Collector did the Masters of the Universe classic line, and it had like hundreds, like 400 items, creatures, figures, from
giants.
everything that was Masters of the Universe, She-Ra, 2000X, comic book inspired, things that were never in the original line. It was like a 400 item like universe with maps and comics and all kinds of accessories and Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, all this stuff. And I think G.I. Joe Classified could do that. They could the ultimate G.I. Joe line of the history of this brand if they do it right, and it continues as long as I hope it will continue with stuff like Action Man, stuff like, other factions, Gem and the Holograms, Void Rivals, Transformer characters, all this stuff could be incorporated into the classified if they do it right.
Yeah, I agree, and I kind of look at it that we're getting our real American hero mythology and characters that we love.
Yes.
We're getting in 6-inch scale, which is the common scale for figures.
Yep.
But they come with accessories like the 12-inch guys did.
Yep.
And then just like with the 6-inch, I feel like you can do like figure wise, you could throw in a Tomb Raider or an Action Man.
Yep.
But no, and then you get the vehicles and stuff. I mean, it's not going to be. I don't want to say never. I don't think we're ever going to get back to the day of a real American hero, or just dominate it like it did. And there's no excuse why we can't.
Yeah,
but they're not going to.
For vehicles, you're correct. We're never going to get all those vehicles in a real American hero, but we can get all those characters and all those versions of those characters and all the 2000 characters and a lot of comic book characters and a lot of Sunbow characters and a lot of ancillary universe, Sunbow universe.
No, I'm with you though. I think that it could be. I'm looking at my classified right now as we're speaking. I think it could be that ultimate line because you're getting. I don't know. We're getting Cobra Law figures. We're getting the Once a Man Cobra Commander. I mean, you could have done all that with O-Ring or Modern Sculpt too, because I'm a fan of the modern 4-inch figures. And that's the closest we got to, line wide, real American hero.
There was a lot.
But no, I agree. I think this could be the ultimate line if done right. Because you get the accessories, like they were 12-inch figures. And then you can touch on. Obviously, it's built around a real American hero, but you can touch on other things. I wouldn't mind seeing him doing like the Adventure Team people, Joe Colton. I mix all that in with it,
I think there's an opportunity there. I don't know if they have the copyright or the trademarks for a lot of that Adventure Team stuff at the moment. They let that lapse, so that's going to be a tricky one. They're going to have to rename it like they did with King Cobra Commander and call it something else.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Same with Nemesis Immortal or Nemesis Enforcer. They renamed him. And sometimes when they come out with a figure, it has their real name, like somebody Pulaski, blah, 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 because they can't copyright a person's name. They can call him something Pulaski, and that's it.
Yeah, they really dropped the ball on the trademarks back in the day.
Yep, they did.
So let's move on. So
our next one is a legacy, which we've known about for a long, long time. There's been a lot of hem-hawing over what this exactly is and whether it's going to be what we thought it was going to be or whether it's going to be something different. They changed it along the way, but apparently it's a Arctic Mountain Trooper is what this legacy character is. And they showed the box art and they specifically called out that it's not going to look exactly like the box art. It's going to look a little bit different, but we're going to be excited about this. And I'm thinking it's going to go back to that Doc from the Resolute line where he's red and orange. Maybe he'll be a little bit like this Arctic character, possibly mountain character. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see that. I was busy at that point in the stream, and I had to turn it down because I was getting calls, and I was working it by myself at the shop, and I thought they were going over what's his name, Sub-Zero or somebody.
No, it's the Legacy Arctic.
But yeah, and I know they made mention of the Arctic Rescue Trooper before,
Yeah, it was one of our leaks. It was one of our name only leaks from your
Yeah,
source. So we knew it was coming, but there's been a lot in the community. People that knew about it were like, wait a minute, we think they changed it. We don't know if they're still doing it. There's been a lot of like back and forth on this. And the fact that they revealed it in the stream means it is moving forward and we are getting it. But they changed the name slightly to a Legacy Arctic Mountain Rescue.
no, I think it's fun, and again,
Oh, yeah.
it that ties into what we were just talking
Yeah, yeah.
about expanding the line.
Right,
You
right.
know,
Yeah,
because
because you can use that.
eventually, if all goes well, they'll do every GI Joe character, and
Right.
then then we'll just have to start over, or do them in dress greens or in snow gear,
Well, there's a
or
lot of
just make up new characters.
there's all
But
alternatives like that shipwreck in that Deming set. That's a
exactly,
sitting shipwreck. So if they're
exactly.
going to do that, then there's nothing off the table. After that set, I was like, oh, okay. Then there's nothing on the table. Everything is off the table now. We can get anything that we want as long as they have the imagination and the ability and the budget and the sculpting and the molds and stuff to make it.
It makes me think of the comment I made when Guardians of the Galaxy successfully came out.
Yeah.
I said they were able to pull this movie off. They can do anything now.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So
So
our
yeah,
last, yeah, you're right. So our last name only was another one that we knew was coming. It was in our leaks. It's actually been around for a while. It was on this Reddit list that I've read to you and I read to Terry and I've read it on my channel 2 or 3 times. It was on that Reddit list that's been going around since 2024, January 2024. No, actually 25, the Reddit list was on, and Dusty version 2 with Sandstorm was on that list. And so we knew we were getting it. It was on your list, and we've known we were getting it for over a year and a half now. So the fact that we're getting another animal figure and pet or character and pet companion set is really good, and they're going more towards the Deke variation of that because that's the slide that they showed. But I hope it's not quite as Deke as they say. I hope it's more realistic, in my opinion. What do you think about that?
yeah. I never had him as a kid. I've got the club version for the 4-inch. He's a cool figure. I mean, I'm more the merrier. You can make him make Duke in his workout clothes. But I'd say that if it was 4-inch Joes or O-ring Joes or whatever, I just love these characters, and it kind of makes me think that since we're getting another desert character with a desert looking vamp that and the comment about the desert, makes me think that they're going to go. That might be a big theme coming up.
Well, and we know one of the leaks from when we did our leak video in January, there's a desert 3-pack troop builder on the way, similar to the Arctic troop builder, which had the 2 Arctic Cobras and the Arctic Steel Corps. So what will that be? Will it be Joe? Will it be Cobra? So we now have that theme building out. So we have Desert Snake Eyes, we have the original Dusty, we have the Sand Scorpions. We have now Clutch version 2 with the Vamp Mark 2. We have Dusty version 2 with Sandstorm. We know there's a 3-pack coming, and BMAX specifically alluded to that there may be more desert coming in the fall. So that all builds toward them working on the desert theme.
And I could see them doing like a Cobra specific desert pack and then a GI Joe specific desert pack.
Maybe both.
I could see like Duke, probably Duke, Scarlet, maybe. I don't think we got enough roadblocks, but
I think we really need to revisit Roblox version 2, the number 1 classified figure and his running variant. I do want them to redeco that a little bit slightly more towards the movie. And I believe we are going to get that down the road because next year
that being the retro card it.
Right. And I think it's a 40th anniversary whole theme of retro cards next year. And I believe they're going to retouch that Roblox.
Oh yeah, for the movie.
because the 40th anniversary is next year, and they're doing a big push for the Transformers 40th anniversary of their film, The Apology Tour, all year round, and there's all kinds of stuff for that movie coming out. They just announced or just pre-ordered the Insecticons and Starscream and one of the cars. I
Proud.
can't think. Prow or whatever his name was today on Target. So all those are the movie inspired studio series for that. So yeah, next year there's going to probably be a lot of movie. Globulus will be next year. I know it's been confirmed by sources that is definitely next year. Globulus. Where are we going to get it? How are we going to get it? Is up in the air, but we know it's coming next year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a phenomenal couple of years. I mean, this year's already shaping up to be pretty good with this stuff, and I think next year is
Yeah.
just going to take it to another level. And I'm grateful to be along for the ride, you know. And I was telling somebody earlier that what a country to live in, that we're blessed as adults to be able to spend money on relics of our childhood, update
Here's an
it.
interesting comment that goes right into what you're saying right now. A gentleman just got out of the theater. His name is William Thame. William Thame. The credits are rolling, still sitting in the theater, just traveled back from 1983.
Right? How packed was your theater?
How packed was your theater, William Thame? Because that's the big question: is how many people are going to see that movie to make it successful? I think they stacked the deck to have them have 5.5 days to launch that film. So you got Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So hopefully it does well.
Our theater was not packed at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm hearing the same thing from a lot of other people. They said there was 15 people or 7 people or 12 people.
I heard that. I heard that with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I saw pictures of people that like it was like maybe a whole posse of people, and that was it. And they're like, we didn't rent the theater, you know.
Well,
But of course, it might have been. We saw it at an early showing.
Yeah. Well, we saw Mandalorian probably, I think it was about 3:30 or 4, and it had a lot of people, and it had probably about 50 or 80 people in there when we saw it. But that was early evening dating times.
You and I talked about it and said that we're really hoping that this year kind of kickstarts.
Oh yeah,
movies again. Like, and what we mean, of course, yes, guys are been making movies for a while, but what we're talking about when we're doing my series on the different years in the 80s and 70s and 90s and movies, like 82, 84, 87, 89. Those are huge years for movies. And it just kind of started rolling.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we haven't really had that. Like,
not in the last 4 or 5 years since COVID. It's killed the theaters, and there's not been a theater watching community that much.
Yeah, and it's like, let's get back to that.
So this guy, gentleman, William Thame, said, seemed like a lot of people applause at the end of it, and it was great.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, William, for that information. That I want this movie to do well. You know, the movies, I want all the movies to do well. And the fact that, what was it, Obsession made like $220 million. I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. It was an indie, like $700,000 budget. A YouTuber guy made it or something. Like, hey, like people will spend the money if it's good. And I think that's been the biggest, you and I have talked about this.
Oh yeah. That's
been the biggest problem with movies is that, you know, it's not that streaming's killed the movie theater. It's not that this has done that. Because if you're a teenager, where are you going to take your girlfriend on a date? Like, go come back to my place. Yeah. I'm not that type of girl. I'm not that type of guy or whatever. Yeah. You go to the movies or you go out to eat. You go to the movies when you're a teenager. You know, you got to have that outside social experience. Yeah. Anyway, you know, I want all these movies to do well, but I don't think it's necessarily the COVID. I think that after a certain point, they just stop. They're just remaking remakes and like just really
sequels, remakes, nostalgia grabs, all this stuff that's not new. There's hardly any new.
But I'm telling you right now, and write this down. This date, June 5th, in the year of our Lord 2026, that Hasbro, if this movie does well, they're going to be all right. We gotta scrap everything and we got to
They already
start from the
think it's
beginning.
doing well. They already think that. That's why we got those announcements for GI Joe movies again.
Well, I think if they wanted to do the easiest thing, and I've said this, and other people have said this online, in person, whatever you want to call it, just do the first freaking issue of GI Joe. That's
Yeah,
your movie.
do a fun
That's the
action
movie.
story. Them rescuing a scientist that's coming up with some experiment. Cobra wants it. They have to stop him and stuff like that. Yeah, just have a nostalgia type thing, just like
And
this.
you have the beautiful juxtaposition. Sorry, it's a big word for an Italian. That's a that they have a rescue lady that loathes and hates the military,
Yeah,
and the whole like, hey, that's our job.
very topical today.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I don't. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I think that would be the perfect movie to do. And it's like
Yeah.
you don't need to throw everything in it. You just need to have the basic team. You can cut it in half if you want.
Yeah.
And just have it like 6, 7 people,
Yeah.
and then you and interchange a few or whatever.
They had the
You don't need
OT-13. That's all they needed.
Destro and everybody in it. You just need Cobra Commander and the Baroness and them doing some bad stuff, and then the Joes go in basic rescue off.
Maybe you could throw in Major Blood or something, or Dr. Venom or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Dr. Venom would be nice.
Yeah.
This is random, but for some reason it popped in my head. What do you think about this David Boreanaz Rockford Files remake?
Well, I think he did it the right way. I think the studio, the production company, did it the right way. They went to
GG.
I'm trying to think of his name now.
James Garner's daughter.
James Garner's daughter asked her permission. They said, this is our idea. This is what we want to do. What do you think? If you're not going to give us your blessing, we're not moving forward with this. And she said, I believe my father would have loved this and he would have been on board with this. So I'm going to say you have the green light. And so that's what David Boreanaz said in multiple interviews, and they would not have gone forward with it without him. And it's supposed to be in the 70s. So it does take place in that time frame. So
oh, really? I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, it does take place in that time frame. So I'm curious to see what it looks like, the aesthetic of it and the clothing and his hair and everything, if he looks like Rockford and everything. And I
saw a shot of him, like one of those actor profile pictures where he's kind of mimicked James Garner, like, and I follow his daughter on Twitter. She's very cool, and I love her dad as an actor and as a person.
Well, so do I. He's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Oh man,
every movie, TV show he's ever been in. He's
used to watch Rockford Files with my dad when I was little, and
yeah,
rewatched it when I was in college when it was on A&E.
Oh, I watched
back when
it multiple times.
Played more than Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah,
and sorry, I'm thinking of a funny meme, a dog. Anyway,
but no, James Garner is one of my heroes in
I loved him.
Film and TV of all time. Right up there with like Sean Connery and Richard Crenna.
He was in a movie called Barbarians of the Gate. It was an HBO movie.
I love that movie.
It was about the takeover of RJ Nabisco.
Right,
because of that movie, I bought stock. I bought stock early, and then sold it and made money.
You can't find that film. I've looked on all my streamings. I have about 12 streaming networks, and I cannot find that movie.
What about HBO Max? Because it was an HBO movie.
I know, but it's not on there. Yeah, I've looked. Trust me, I want to see it again because I love James Garner, and I've watched a lot of his movies over the last year or so because of this and stuff like that. It's another one of those things we have in common that we both like a lot of the same actors.
Tank came out in '84.
Tank, yeah, that's a great movie.
I love that freaking movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
He's so awesome in that movie. Yeah, he's one of the classic American actors.
Oh, yeah.
Grand Prix, Victor Victoria.
Oh,
which we talked about that before.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
I just like the part. He's like, "Well, I don't give a damn if you're a man or a woman. I'm in love with you." She's like, "Well, I'm a woman." It's like,
well, that's great, and gives her a big kiss, lip lock. Yeah, great.
The great Julie Andrews and James Garner. That was a fun movie. It's funny we're talking about movies again.
Yeah. Well, we both came up with the same generation. We're both
Yeah.
invested in movies. We watched a lot of them when we were young. So we're going to have a lot of those references.
Well, and
Um,
we like I said, 76, 96, man.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can't beat
So,
that in movies or anything.
so
Um,
let's get back to this Pulse stream. So how did you think Dan Larson did? Do you think BMAC handled himself on this? And what do you think of the overall stream for the first one?
I like the stream. I'm not the. I have mixed feelings on Dan Larson for various reasons. Um, and I feel like I don't know if your gimmick is to be kind of a smart ass, swarmy, whatever on your channel, that's cool. But when you're invited to be on their channel, I think you should be a little bit more. You can be funny, but it's like he was kind of poking at things, I guess. I don't know. And then the Cobra Commander comment, I couldn't tell if he was trying to be political or not. Like
No,
I could have done without him.
Yeah.
I could
Well,
have.
and I thought he was a little stiff for a guy that's got probably the highest rated for what we do, toy tube, TV
Does he?
enthusiast, YouTube channel. Yeah, he's got like millions and millions of subscribers. That's why Hasbro keeps bringing him back on there because he's the #1 guy that could promote this for them.
See, I don't think he's the number one. I've never thought he was the #1 guy.
Look at his channel, Toy Galaxy, whatever. Look at it's millions. But he was a little stiff. So we think all these episodes are going to be filmed in one day. And they're going to break them up over 4 weeks. And then he's just getting his footing under him. And he was a little nervous because everybody's going to watch this. Everybody's going
I
to.
don't think it was a bad idea to have him on there.
No,
I know they did that one. They did that one where they had Jordan Hembrow on there from Toy Hunters, or whatever.
That was San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, and I think like that. The thing I don't like that they tried to do, and this is no offense to Emily, is they tried to make these people. I hate the term influencers.
Well, he is though. Dan Larson.
Yeah, I get it, but I just hate that term. But like they were trying to make Emily, Lenny, and the other guy, Lenny and Squiggy or whatever, try to make them like act like influencers.
Yeah,
and that's not their job, man. Their job is to, to
I agree.
Talk about the brand, obviously. Yeah. And I think BMAC does a pretty good job of it.
He does. I think he's in that generation where he kind of grew up in the right time, where he's able to work into that, and now he's okay with it and he's comfortable with it. I thought he came off very good, even though somebody made a funny comment about him, about how he looked like he gained a little bit of weight in that and stuff like that. And there was a lot of people making fun of him about that. But Dan Larson came off a little stiff, but I think he kind of got into it as it was going on, and I think he's going to be better as these.
Well, it's kind of an awkward spot for him, in fairness to him, because he can't really produce it himself.
Exactly.
He's being produced by somebody else.
Right.
You know, and he kind of has his gimmick and what he does.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of funny if they got like somebody like The Rock. Or somebody like that, which I don't want to see The Rock on there.
They had Sergeant Slaughter on one of the episodes, and they had one of the guys from, I think, 9 Inch Nails on there one time to talk about Spirit. And they've had a bunch of different.
That was the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, Black Eyed Peas. Sorry.
That guy was a bit much.
Well, I was talking about Native American stuff, which that's
which is cool.
Thing in my heart. Native American. I'm indigenous. I'm an indigenous person in this country, and it touched me, so I'm glad they covered that.
We acted like Spirit was some. I don't want to try to rehash all that, but like, like Spirit was some type of like racial slur, and it's like everybody I know loves Spirit, and like I always looked at Spirit as a person of honor.
Oh yeah, me too.
And just like
never offended me.
I love Spirit.
And I'm a person of indigenous people in the United States. It never offended me. But
I know Native Americans, and that was kind of like their guy. Yeah. He was like,
and I understand why they had to cover it and why they talked about it. But like you said, we don't need to get off on that. But there is a fun comment here about from William with AIM, I guess. Tank was one of the first movies I watched when I was our family got out our first VCR when video stores were something new.
Oh yeah, that would be and I don't think Tank was one of those they played on HBO all the time, like Commando or Dreamscape
It
or
might have been a TV movie. It was on TV a few times. I
no.
remember
Well,
that.
it was on TV, but yeah, it was at the theaters because my dad took
Yeah.
me.
Oh yeah, no, I know it was in the theater, but when it came out, the time
Oh,
frame
back
when the
real
movie would
quick.
come out in the theater and then come to TV was like 2 years after.
Oh yeah, that's well, heck, to be on the VHS.
Yeah.
I remember they rushed Batman '89. They got it out like by Christmas or something or the
Oh,
next year.
that was a big merchandising, huge juggernaut merchandising.
Um, Back to David Boreanaz.
Yeah.
James Garner's daughter said that she told David what cologne her dad wore on the show, and David's wearing that cologne. Like he is so dialed in, and I like
Oh yeah,
David
he's dialed in.
Boreanaz.
It's gonna be a good series. I
Or
hope.
as I like to refer to him as the dreamy David Boreanaz.
From what I
Loved him.
understand, I've been reading up on this. It's going to be a continuation. They're not rebooting this. It's a continuation of where he left off with the original series, which only went for like 6.5 seasons or 6 seasons or something because of his knees
Who
and
was
a
your
lot of the stunts that he
Who
got
was
into.
your favorite side character on the show?
I liked the main guy that was the sleazy guy
Angel?
that was always trying to Angel, conning people and doing all the bad stuff. I liked him.
I always liked when Gandalf showed up.
Gandalf.
Sir Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. He always called Rockford Rockfish.
Yeah. Rockfish.
There was one time.
His father's a good actor. He was in a lot of good stuff. The dad, prior to.
Oh
this.
yeah, Rocky. I loved Rocky.
Yeah.
I just remember this one. He's in Rockford's trailer, and he's trying to get him to help him with something. And he's like, "I can't help you right now, Gandy. I'm busy." He goes, "Damn it, Rockfish!" And he crushes a beer can.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
he's like, "That's not impressive. They're made out of aluminum. I can do that too." "Well, I'm going to crush you, Rockfish, if you don't help me out." And he's like, all right, I'll help you.
There's a lot of good cameos, ongoing cameos. Like the actress that played Monica Quartermain on General Hospital, she was on there 2 or 3 times before she got the role of Monica Quartermain on General Hospital.
Tom Selleck was on there.
There's a who?
Tom Selleck was on there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tom Selleck had 2 appearances, in fact.
He played a really uptight, really elegant
boyfriend. Yeah.
Did you? Just that made me think of Remington Steele.
Oh, there's lots of people. Yeah,
I've been watching all this.
Speaking,
Steele clips.
Gerald McCraney was on there as well. Rockford Files 2 or 3 times as different bad guys.
I'd have to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, Gerald McCraney. He's a good actor.
Oh yeah, and the lieutenant Dennis. He was. I can't think of his name, but he was in a ton of stuff. Last thing I saw him in was Sopranos. He was one of the bosses that was retired. That was in the season 5, and he ended up getting clipped because he was trying to make. He was brought in to make peace between some warring factions in one of the families, and kind of started like a little pseudo war or some tension. But I hate it when he got killed because
Since you brought up Rockford Files, there's going to be a lot of revisitations of old TV shows coming this year. Not only is Rockford Files coming out, we're getting a Greatest American Hero relaunch and an X-Files relaunch this year.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it's when they did the Magnum relaunch, I was very disappointed in that. And I thought they just, like the thing I liked about and I'm going to jump around a bit here, so bear with me.
Well, I'm just letting you know it's the time.
Yeah, I know. We're going to be getting off here in a second. But the Black Panther movie was great because it was a great movie. And it's a great character and a great cast. And it had natural diversity.
Yeah.
And so, like, when the Magnum PI remake show came out, it was kind of caught up in that, diversity first story. Dead last.
I think the lead actor did a really good job.
I had no charm, man. But anyway, my thought was when Magnum ended, he was going back into the Navy, and he was walking the beach with his daughter. So you could have had a thing where his daughter was Magnum. Like, she comes to Hawaii, and, maybe Tom Selleck guest stars every now and then. Maybe she deals with Higgins and Agatha's son, and TC had a son, and Rick probably would have a son and still be around. So, like, she kind of like, my dad warned me about your dad. Oh, well, your dad owed my dad money, so you're going to fly this helicopter or whatever. Like there's so much fun stuff they could have done.
I like the
And
chemistry of that quartet. I thought they could do a 18
oh,
series with that quartet right there, and it would have been great.
oh man, that I love those guys. That's one of my favorite shows. Was Magnum. But yeah, so the GI Joe live stream. I'm looking forward to next week's
Oh yeah.
to see what else we get. And I know that we have. Did BMAC specifically say why they weren't doing the HasLab, or they just weren't doing one?
He just said they were not doing one this year, but I'm pretty sure everybody's in this community knows it's because Hasbro is moving to Boston. Emily, who is in charge of HasLab, has to take on responsibilities in the Boston move, and so the bandwidth for all these people that are doing this, they're behind by 2 months. They were supposed to be in Boston by October. Now it's going to be January of next year, so they just don't have the time, and that's a part of the company that it's outsourced. So they have to supervise that because it's an outsource and they just don't have the time to do it. So that is the reason why there's no. That's why there wasn't a Transformers HasLab. There's no Star Wars HasLab. There's no Ghostbusters. We got that rotten Tron one last October that didn't do well. So it was like, let's rest this and give people more energy towards HasLab next year. I know there are MTOs coming this year, more MTOs, original MTOs, not redeco MTOs, original MTOs.
Explain what that is for people that don't know.
Made to order, like the art.
So I have a
order.
feeling. I have a feeling that when we get that next HasLab, just say for GI Joe, it's going to be something really, really special.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
I think it'll be well. I think it'll be worth the wait. I don't have any inside info on that. I don't have any way of having info on that. It's just my gut feeling. Like, hey, we didn't get one last year for you guys, but this year. Now, real quick, back to the live stream, and then we're going to cut out here. Did they say something about battle packs?
Not during this stream, to my knowledge, but there was something last year. They were thinking about doing accessory packs and things like that
I'm
last
talking
year.
about like battle packs. Like, no, they did mention it. The ferret versus the trouble bubble.
Oh, that's right. That's called
the
battle
I like
in a
the
box.
idea.
That was
So
a battle
I was thinking, like, man, what if they did a HasLab that was a battle pack, like it was Moray versus this, or Mobat versus this, or that would be kind of an interesting take on it.
It'd be expensive, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. But if you didn't spend money on it this year, and so who knows?
I will give you a hint. Supposedly, this week's coming one is going to be like beyond anything anybody ever imagined could be part of Classified, and that's the only clue I can give you on that. But that'll be on Tuesday. Some of these things are going to go up on pre-order, and I know that the Vamp Mark II is $115. Just to let you know. And to top it off, they are going to redo the Vamp Mark One. They're doing another run, and they know a lot of people missed it, and a lot of people want it, and they're bringing it back. So that was another item of the Pulse stream, that the Mark One is coming back again.
So, David, where can people find you?
Well, right there on the screen there, it says G.I. Joe New News Review. My channel, I cover a lot of different topics. Not only do I do comic coverage, I do Street Fighter Tuesdays, I do Unproduced Concepts Thursdays. I cover all the news in G.I. Joe community. I have a series all month long, and it's called the Yo Joe June series. We did episode 1 earlier in the week, and we will do episode 2, 3, and 4, and it'll be guest starring 610 Yojo Daddy. I'm going to also be on Toy Kind of Mood, doing a couple episodes talking about Joe Fest and crossovers with G.I. Joe. I'm also on Toy Talk Live on Sunday afternoons, 2:00 p.m. with Terry Ruin and my co-host tonight, Dan Thompson from the DanCast. And I'm doing several interviews leading up to Joe Fest, my series of Joe Fest, Road to Joe Fest series. So I have a lot going on.
That sounds awesome, and that's always good to be busy. Not busy. So I would like everyone to check out David's channel and check out some of his shows. Catch us on Toy Talk. please hit like and subscribe on DanCast and share this video and tell all your friends about it. We appreciate you tuning in to hear us talk about He-Man and Yojo June. We'll probably be back next week. I don't know what next week's topic is going to be. It might be David. It might be somebody different. We never know. But I do promise you guys we are going to get back to talking about movies. That was just kind of a sidebar to kind of get the channel going. And then we're going to talk about all types of stuff. So I've got some fun guests planned coming up real soon. And David, thank you so much for joining me. Everybody hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Make sure you hit the notification button so you can be notified of Dan's live episodes every week, Friday evening at 8 p.m. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure always to hang out with you and talk all this nostalgia that we both love.
Well, I'll see you Sunday, David. Have a good night.
Bye.